Whoa, this hospital must really be desperate if they're taking blood from you.
Well, at least you look like I'm from the land of the living, Buchanan. What happened to you?
Well, guess who won the annual Banner's New Year's Eve lottery? I've been here since a little after midnight trying to cover the first baby of the New Year story.
And the winner is?
The winner is Tiffany Amber Dershowitz.
Only in America. Can I buy you some juice?
No, thanks. I'm on the wagon. Did Marty convince you to come down here and give blood for the drive?
No. Blair wanted me to check my RH factor, and, because you know.
I know. I heard. But since the mother is Blair and not Marty, I really wasn't sure whether to send you champagne or condolences.
The little missus and I are planning a second honeymoon, and I'm really worried about her.
Oh, is your wife not well?
Oh, no, she's fine. It's just that she's been in and out of the hospital a lot in the last couple of years, and I don't want to take my little buttercup out of the country without a copy of her medical records.
Oh, well, that won't be necessary. Should something happen, just have one of the physicians give us a
No,
call.
you see, that's what I'm worried about. I mean, what if some, witch doctor in Fiji can't figure out how to use the phone or can't get through or something? I mean, my little lollipop could die.
I'm sorry, but I can't give medical records for everybody who comes in
Look,
here.
I know it's against the rules, but, maybe you could just bend the rules, just a little bit, maybe just this once. Could save a life.
It's all right, Louise. I happen to know why Mr. Manning here wants his wife's medical records, and it's not because he's concerned about her health.
Why have you been avoiding me? What are you talking about? We just spoke on the phone.
Well, finally.
I guess I've tried to call you maybe 20 times since last night, Blair. I have been very busy with the Banner and all of Andrew's holiday events.
Yeah. Here's what I want to know. I want to know how it's going with Carl's murder investigation. Do you have any news for me?
We work for rival newspapers. Are you asking me to divulge a story?
I am asking you, as my cousin and off the record, anything I can use to keep custody of my daughter. More to the point, is Todd still a murder suspect?
Andy.
Hi, I'm sorry to bother you at home.
That's okay. Just trying to get Nora to toss the old football around during our lunch hour, but she still thinks that I'm half dead. What's wrong?
It's the lab report on the evidence I handed over on New Year's.
Oh. Does this evidence have anything to do with Antonio?
I hate to say it, but... yeah.
Blair, Beau's a friend. And he's still not showing his cards.
Come on, Cassie, you know Beau has a list, and you know Todd is right on the top of it. Here, do you want some of this? It's some sardines, pâtés,
No.
cheeses.
No, thanks. No, thank you.
What?
It's just your appetite.
So, I can help it. I'm pregnant. I have a terrible cold. I got the munchies. I'll tell you what I'm starving for. Some kind of confirmation here, Cassie.
Sweetheart, if Beau does have a list, I doubt that Todd is still on it.
How can he not be on the list? Everybody saw how he threatened Carlo right on the ship that night. Come on. Oh, Neil, I would like a double dip of butter pecan, please. Cassie, you want any?
No.
That's all. Just for me.
Okay.
Thanks. No chocolate.
Yeah, we all saw that. However, we now know that the murder weapon was Andy Harrison's service revolver. She was nowhere near that ship the night of the party. So how could Todd have gotten his hands on that gun?
So you're saying that Todd is in this?
Oh, it's not a word I like to use with Todd, no.
This is just great. Cassie, I have a custody hearing that starts next week. I was just hoping that Todd would maybe be thrown in jail, arrested by now,
Yeah,
you know?
I know. Okay, so take it easy. Because no judge in his right mind is going to give custody to Todd. And besides, you have a secret weapon. Me. When your cousin Cassie gives her testimony, Todd is not going to have a chance. You know what? You always did look on the bright side of things, and that's why I love you. But let me tell you something. Todd is the dark side. Cassie, I have learned the hard way. When he wants something badly enough, nothing will stop him.
Why don't you go change a bedpan?
Yeah, so you can steal Blair's medical records.
I wasn't trying to steal anything. It was a simple request.
Yeah, you were lying to the ward clerk because you wanted her medical history so you could use it against her in your little custody.
Oh, so now you're going to protect Blair? Is that it? What if there was something important there? Maybe there was something there that would prove that she's an unfit mother.
Look, I am no fan of Blair's. But what does her medical history have to do with her right to raise her baby?
It is not a right. Parenthood is not a right. It's a privilege. And Mommy Dearest has a history of instability and erratic behavior.
Todd, please.
Look, she tried to kill herself when Max Holden left her. Think about that for a second. When Max Holden left her. Did you know that? And let's not forget about all the other Kramer women who are cutting up little paper dolls in loony bins all over the country. I mean, who knows what's wrong with Blair?
So you're going to try to prove that she's got a mental problem.
But I'm a parent. It is my job to protect my kid. I have to make sure that there's a safe and sane home.
You're not doing this for Star. And you don't think Blair is insane any more than I do. And you know that Blair cares about that child just as much as you do.
Blair cares about Blair. I'm sure the two of them will be very happy together.
You know, this is truly amazing. This is a child we're talking about, not an office building. Who owns her is not the point. So why don't you just get over yourself and this custody battle and work things out?
What, for the sake of the child?
Yes.
What, do you think Star should have two loving parents? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Wait a second. Oh, I get it. You can't fool me. I know exactly what you're trying to do.
Gets more complicated every day. There's not a day that passes when Margaret doesn't have to deal with Blair or the pregnancy or something.
It's got to be tough on you.
Yeah, it's tough, but I don't know if you're going to understand this, but there's a part of me who doesn't care how tough it is. I'm going to be a father, Kevin, you know?
I understand. I've been there.
You mean you've been there?
I have a 4-year-old named Duke down in Sweetwater, Texas. Had him with a little lady called Leanne Demers, but a lot of people around here didn't think she was too much of a lady.
First love, was it? That can be dangerous.
Oh, in our case, it proved to be fatal. My parents hit the ceiling that made me more determined than ever. But they were right. I mean, I wasn't ready for marriage. I wasn't ready for kids or anything. But my one good thing that turned out of all of that, check him out. Yeah. He's something else. I've already missed a lot of his growing up so far.
Sure he misses you.
Hey, do what you can. With Blair and with Marty. So you can see this kid as much as possible, okay?
It's a fine idea. Now I've got to figure out how to pull it off.
I wanted to hand it over in person.
Well, and you did, so you want to fill me in?
All right. I was with Antonio on New Year's before I went on duty, and at one point he left the apartment when he thought that I was asleep. I don't know, it was something about the way he did it. I looked out the window and I saw him down in Angel Square. You know, God, I just hate telling you this.
Andy, you're just saying what happened.
Want something to eat or drink? We just finished eating.
No, I'm fine, thanks. Anyway, I saw Antonio had this gym bag, and he took something out of it and threw it in this barrel where the homeless guy had started a fire to keep warm.
And?
As soon as I could, I went down there and I fished out what was left of this shirt. Tuxedo shirt.
Oh, and that's what Antonio had thrown in the barrel?
Right. So I took the pieces I could salvage, and on one of the sleeves, I spotted something that looked like blood.
And you sent it on to the lab to be tested?
Right.
Yeah, and it was blood, as it turns out, AB positive. Did that shirt belong to Antonio?
You know, I wasn't sure of it at the time, but I asked him later, and he admitted that it was.
Did he admit anything else?
Like what?
Come on, Andy, we both know that AB positive was Carlo Hesser's type, too.
Well, now, wait a minute. It may be Carlo Hesser's blood, but there's nothing conclusive.
No, not yet, but it says here that they've sent it on to Philly for DNA testing.
Well, then we'll wait for the test results. And even if they are conclusive, it doesn't mean that Antonio's your killer. He doesn't know how the blood got on the shirt.
It just suddenly appeared there?
The shirt was in a gym bag in the back of his closet. He just happened to pull it out to pack a few things because he was going to take his Abuelita back to New York, and there it was. So he had no idea how the shirt got in the back of his closet. He had no idea it was even there, right? Right. He thinks somebody must have planted it there.
Planted by whom? Why?
Well, to frame Antonio, of course.
Okay, well, I'll say it again. Planted by whom?
We don't know. All right. The night of the Manning's ball, Carlo gave Antonio this tuxedo, complete with this fancy dress shirt, just like the one that matches the stains. But Antonio got rid of all of his fancy clothes after Carlo's death. Including the formal shirt? Right. Which means that somebody must have gotten a hold of his shirt after he got rid of it, stained it with Carlo's blood, then planted it in his closet.
Well, we'll never know because Antonio burned most of it.
Well, the question is, who would have planted the shirt in the back of his closet? God. Carlo, for one. That would certainly explain why he was in Antonio's apartment when I stumbled onto him the night of the ball.
So you're saying that Carlo, he knew that he was going to be murdered in advance?
I don't know what he knew. All I know is that somebody is trying to frame Antonio for Carlo's death. Anyone in particular? Besides Carlo? R.J. Gannon, for one. He always resented the fact that Carlo adopted Antonio for like a surrogate son. Oh, that sounds like the R.J. we all know and love, doesn't it? What are you thinking?
Why didn't Antonio just bring that shirt straight to me? Or to Andy? Why did he have to destroy evidence?
All right, I'm not saying that he should have, but if he destroyed the evidence, is it any wonder why? He spent 6 years in prison for killing a man in self-defense, and when he finally gets enough evidence to clear his name, the judge won't even consider it. How can Antonio trust a system that never ever trusts him?
I know, Antonio got the short end of the stick. Andy, it doesn't explain all of this, though. I am not the system. I'm the guy that gave him a chance. Not once, twice. So why didn't he bring that shirt to me and show me the blood?
If he did, would you have believed him?
I would have listened to his story. I'd have given him a fair shake.
He was desperate to talk to you when you were in the hospital.
That was a while ago, honey.
Well, that's true. It couldn't possibly have been about the shirt. No.
He's been acting strange lately. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's hiding anything, but it could explain a lot.
He's scared to death, Bo. With all this evidence just appearing like magic, how else is he supposed to act? Andy, Bo's been very fair to Antonio. As a matter of fact, he's been more than fair. And you have to admit, Bo's right. Antonio has been on edge lately. Well, did you ever think that maybe it's because he's trying to tell the truth and nobody will listen? I mean, come on, you guys. This is really hard for him.
I know. And I know that it's hard for you to come and see me like this. I'm not jumping to any conclusions, Andy. I'm only doing my job.
Where are you going?
I forfeit, honey. You win the football game. I'm going to go speak with Mr. Vega.
I'll go with you.
No. This is a conversation I want to have one-on-one. Okay, Andy? But I promise you something. I'm going to give Antonio every chance to clear this up. Okay?
Not like Antonio to be late. He must have run some errands. I'll give him a call and see if he's on his way.
Hello, Carlotta.
Hank. You've met Mrs. Rodriguez?
Yes, Mr. Rodriguez.
Senor Gano. Cold day for running.
Yes, ma'am. But, you know, it's a New Year's resolution. Rain or shine, stay in shape. And I promised myself a reward for running during my lunch hour. So I thought I'd swing by here and have a piece of that great pie and a nice hot cup of that coffee you make.
Okay, it's the least I can do to help you celebrate the New Year.
Yeah, well, I hope it is a good one for everybody, Carlotta. Thank you.
I hope so. Hank, you know, I'm sorry that Antonio got so out of control and lost his temper the other day. I understand that you had questions that needed to be asked about, you know, what happened to Andy's gun.
Yeah, but your son thought otherwise.
But he was just trying to protect me. Please don't read into it. People are always so quick to judge him.
Look, Carlotta, I'm conducting a murder investigation, not a witch hunt. And I don't have an axe to grind with your son. But an investigation means that sometimes you have to ask questions that people don't even want to hear, let alone answer.
So you mean this investigation includes many people?
Yes, several people. But Carlotta, trust me, I know all about discrimination. And I also know that sometimes when you think it's there, it's not. So we're not singling out anybody on this side of the river or anybody in West Landview, for that matter. Antonio's going to get the same kind of treatment I give everybody. Well, there you go.
Oh.
Never any peace, huh?
Well, you're welcome to use our phone.
No, actually, thank you, but this is confidential. You know, my car is parked across the street in the lot. I'll just call from there. But listen, don't you sell my piece of pie, huh?
Don't worry.
See you soon.
Must be very confidential.
Carlota, shouldn't we try to reach Antonio? I can always take the train.
No. Antonio wanted to take you. He said so. Let me just call him again. I'm sure he's on his way.
Hearing you talk about your son, Duke, makes me even more determined to be part of this baby's life. But
For what? You have other responsibilities, right?
Yeah, I do, Ken. See, Margaret and I love each other, and I don't want anything to drive a wedge between us.
Baby won't do that. Now, Blair's another story, but...
Yeah, I know all about Blair. I'm just hoping that having a baby with her is not going to give her an excuse to be miserable to Margaret.
Good luck.
Yeah.
But even if Blair, you know, if she proves true to form, she cannot stop you from being a good father.
She won't. And, thanks for the advice, Dad.
Sure. Hey, don't worry, because you're going to be a fine father yourself someday. And don't worry about Margaret either, because she can handle all this stuff that's going on. Just be careful of that factor that you have no control over.
What factor would that be?
Blair's husband, Todd.
You don't fool me, Marty. You want me to go back to Blair so that Patrick Jr. will be out of your life. See, if Blair and I raise the little bugger, then you can go back to the Irish father and live happily ever after.
Because I would want you to raise Patrick's baby. This is amazing. I continue to treat you like a human being, and you continue to act like yourself.
At least I'm honest.
Honest? You're not honest, you're twisted. I do understand how you and Blair ended up together.
Well, don't
You're
you
two
dare
of a kind.
compare me
You
to
don't
Blair.
see it, do you? You two have been given so many wonderful opportunities, and you continually choose to throw them away. That woman cares about you. I went to her office to try to get her off my back, and she was so upset about losing you that she picks up a pair of scissors and starts cutting off her hair.
Why are you telling me this?
Because
What does
she was
that have
out of
to do with anything?
control. It had to do with you. She didn't want to look like me. She started cutting off her hair. Before I know it, she's gone into premature labor with Star.
Are you... See, you think that that's what... See, I knew that Star was premature, but I didn't know why. You know, Marty, I think it's time you told people why my daughter came into this world before she was supposed to.
Sunday on ABC.
You want me to testify against Blair? You can't be serious.
Look, it's your duty as a doctor. You know something important. It has to do with the safety and the health of a child.
Excuse me?
I want you to tell the judge exactly what you just told me. Blair was so out of control that she caused Star's premature birth. She put my daughter in danger.
Okay, you know, I'd like you to listen to this closely because I'm only going to say it once. I will not get caught in the crossfire between you and Blair.
All right, fine, Marty. You go ahead. You try and hide from this. You know, you might be able to keep your distance from me. You think you're going to get Blair out of your life? Forget about it. Not as long as she's got Patrick's little bundle of joy. Yeah, you don't like to hear that, do you? It kind of screws up your little fairy tale story of life.
No, I forgot about fairy tales the day I met you.
Yeah, well, I don't like fairy tales either. But whether you like it or not, these are the facts. The baby that is in Blair's belly is Patrick's baby, and that kind of puts an end to fairy tales for all of us. And the only thing that's left for any of us is misery, which is exactly what you deserve.
You get away from her. And this time you stay away.
What did I tell you? Yeah, when Todd wants something bad enough, yeah, he sure finds out of that. Fix it.
I'm sorry, I don't get it. What's going on?
Oh, that was hospital administration. And guess who wants to get their grubby little hands all over my medical records, Cassie?
Well, what difference does that make? How can Todd use your medical records to get custody of Star?
Oh, come on. You know how he operates. When he finds the least little thing, he goes after it and makes it big.
Your health is not an issue.
Oh, well, physically, maybe. But what about emotionally? Yeah, I'm sure he'll look right into those hospital records, my medical records, and find the littlest thing twisted around to prove that I'm an unfit mother.
Blair, you have never been institutionalized. So what can he do?
Well, he could go after Mother. Aunt Melinda, he could go after you. Well, all he has to say is, look, it's obvious. Insanity runs in the Kramer family. Please, would you just lock her up, put her in a straight jacket, and take the little girl?
He cannot turn you into someone you're not.
Don't underestimate Todd, Cassie.
Fine. Maybe you're right. So we'll just have to stay one step ahead of him.
Hey, wait. Let me see this. Voice activated?
Yes, I use it for my interviews.
Ha, you do? Well, maybe we can stay one step ahead of Todd by playing his game even better than he does.
Maybe he's on his way.
I hope so. Wait. Oh, with his machine. Tonio, it's your mother, remember me? If you're there, Tonio, please pick up. Tonio? Tonio, we're waiting for you at the diner.
You might as well hang up, Carlotta. I was just at Antonio's apartment. He's not home. Do you have any idea where he might be?
Happy holidays. Feliz Navidad.
And have a happy Kwanzaa from everyone here at Bakersfield 23.
When were you expecting Antonio, Carlotta?
Oh, he should be here any minute. He's taking Abuelita back to New York. Have you met? Commissioner Buchanan, this is Maria Rodriguez, but we call her Abuelita.
How do you do, ma'am?
Pleasure. Abuelita used to help raise Antonio when he was little, and we still lived in New York. Actually, Antonio was going to take her back yesterday, but she was feeling a little under the weather.
And he hasn't called? Huh?
No. Well, maybe he has, but, you know, sometimes I'm taking telephone orders and the phone is tied up and he can't get through it. And he knows that. So maybe he just hung up and decided that he'd wait till he gets here to tell us why he was late.
Right. When exactly do you expect him?
About an hour or so ago, more or less.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe he decided that he didn't want to get stuck in the evening rush. You know how it gets in Philadelphia in about an hour or so, the traffic.
Yeah. When was the last time you spoke to him, Carlotta?
My son's a grown man. He doesn't have to Yesterday. Bo, Antonio is devoted to Abuelita. He would not show up unless something came up that was unexpected.
He told me himself he was coming. Antonio would never go back on his word.
Yes, ma'am. That's always been my experience. But I have to tell you, both of you, that some new evidence has come to light regarding Carlo Hessler's murder.
Does this have anything to do with my son?
Yes, ma'am. I'm afraid it has a great deal to do with Antonio. And for his sake, I hope he shows up real soon, because the longer he stays away, the worse it's going to look.
Well, there you are. Look, I just got a message from headquarters. Something about a... Okay, so, what I missed?
The reason that I called you. Excuse me, ladies.
All right, Bill. What's wrong?
This is what's wrong.
Well, if it isn't Sir Lancelot, don't you ever get tired of riding in on your white horse?
No, but I'll tell you what I'm getting tired of. And that's you. So why don't you take your grief and your self-pity and slither out of here?
Yeah, right. I'm the creep, right? I'm the lowlife, and you're the one with the poetic soul. Tell me something, Patrick. With all of your virtues, how do you deal with the fact that my wife is pregnant with your kid?
I'm warning you, Tom.
Listen to this. You know, I know that he claims to love you wholly and deeply, and he calls you Margaret and all that. Tell me something, though, Marty. I mean, don't you ever wonder, just in the back of your mind, what did Blair have that you don't? Oh, that shut you up, didn't it? Well, I guess the truth kind of hurts, doesn't it?
Solutions on ABC's World News Tonight. Don't just watch the news, use it.
What is it, the best you got?
Stop it! Somebody stop them!
Come here.
Get him out of here!
I used to feel badly about you taking a bullet for me. Now the only thing I feel badly about is that the bullet didn't finish the bloody job.
Yeah, right, so you could run around with my wife.
Well, sorry, I couldn't ruin. Couldn't let you stick me. I won't have nothing to do with your wife. But as far as the custody of your daughter's concerned, I will testify on Blair's behalf. I promise.
Listen to this, Marty. This is the guy who loves you and only you. Wants nothing to do with Blair.
Right. She's far from perfect, you know that. But she's a loving and devoting mother. She's a good parent, and that is something that no one will ever say about you. You out. What's the matter, Todd? What's the matter? Huh? You're famous for beating up on innocent women. Why'd you take a shot at me?
All right, fine. Get off. Get off. I'm not going to hit anybody. This is a warning. If you do anything to screw up my custody battle, you will regret it for the rest of your story.
Let's go. Out now.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's a girl.
Oh, you were complaining about having to come the first baby of the new year. Would you look at that door prize?
Oh, yes. They make a wonderful cigar in New Jersey. There, want one?
No, thank you.
For Andrew. I gotta tell you, Cass, you're not gonna believe this, but that story, it wiped me out.
Oh, sure.
I'm telling you, it had everything. Suspense, drama, twists and turns, even a happy ending.
I thought you hated happy endings.
I do. Well, I used to, when I thought that they happened all the time, but now I know just how rare they really are.
I have to go.
Wait a minute. You didn't even ask me the kid's name. I was hoping for a boy, so they'd name it after me.
Mr. Modesty.
Yes, but it was a girl. Tiffany Amber.
Ouch. They should have named her after you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, Gus. How's your backhand?
I beg your pardon?
Joey was supposed to meet me here for a couple of sets of tennis, but since I humiliated him on the court last week, he called up with some lame excuse and that. I was thinking, Gus, come on, it's only a tennis game. Work up a little sweat with some friendly competition. We'll be separated by a net.
Kevin, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm sorry.
I know, no problem. Maybe we'll get to play a game of mixed doubles sometimes, huh? You and Andrew and me and some other female. Oh, Gus! Don't forget your cigar.
All we know for sure is that what appears to be the sleeve and the collar of a tuxedo shirt is stained with blood. The blood happens to be the same type as Carlo Hesser's.
That is not all we know.
Well, it looks like Abuelita won't be going back to New York tonight, so I'm going to be taking her back to my apartment. Catarina, would you mind keeping an eye on things while I go back to my house?
Oh, está bien, no te apures.
Gracias. Oh, and don't forget, when Antonio comes, tell him that we went back to my house, okay? Thanks.
Do you think she believes it?
Well, just because her son... Okay. I figure Antonio's probably laying low, just waiting for us to lower the boom on him, but can you blame him, Hank?
Come on, Bo. Look, Antonio's not the only guy who had it tough. And he's certainly not the only guy who had to overcome poverty and prejudice. And it's not an excuse for everything that goes wrong.
Yeah, but maybe not everybody is as tough as you, Hank.
Yeah, well, at least I don't claim to be perfect, all right? Look, Bo, I'm not going to let this guy hide behind his past. What concerns me is the here and now. I mean, come on. Carlo left almost everything to Antonio Vega. I mean, that's A. B, he had access to Andy's service revolver. C, his palm print was on the thing. D, there was a fragment of a shirt found in Antonio's apartment with Carlo's blood on it. And even one of your own officers saw him trying to destroy it. And E, our principal suspect is nowhere to be found. Now, you put all that together, you got a song and a dance.
Yeah, but you could keep going all the way through XYZ. Hank, it's all circumstantial. Antonio's mother is right. He was working for us. I think we owe him every chance we can give him.
Yeah, well, as soon as we get him into custody, he'll have every opportunity to prove his innocence.
No, wait, I thought in this country it was just the opposite.
Well, we're not in court yet, though. Look, Bo, we have to go on suspicion of guilt, and we've got more than enough. Come on, you can't protect him anymore. I mean, what if he decides to leave the state? I mean, that'll just buy him more trouble. I'm telling you, we have to issue a warrant for his arrest, and we have to do it now.
I thought I would never be over you.
A provocative all-new Relativity, ABC Saturday.
I got a great idea. You know what? Let's call in for a pizza with everything on it. That way when Bo gets here, we can have a good excuse to pig out.
Nice try, Nora, but you're as worried as I am. If Bo had good news about Antonio, he would have called by now.
You know what? I know Bo. He comes off real tough, but he's actually very sentimental. I think he probably just wanted to come here and tell you the good news in person. What do you think? Do you like anchovies?
Hey, did you talk to him? What is...
No, Andy, I never got the chance.
Why? What happened?
Oh, come on, just say it. Whatever it is.
Sorry to tell you this, Andy. I didn't talk to Antonio because I couldn't find him. He's disappeared. So I had no other choice other than to issue a warrant for Antonio's arrest.
Where's Bo?
Bo went home. But I wanted to stay and talk to you.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. When Antonio comes in, then he can talk to you.
Look, Carlotta, I don't think Antonio's going to come in. Not voluntarily, anyway.
What does that mean?
Look, just have a seat, would you please?
Just tell me what you have to say, Hank.
Commissioner Buchanan and I, we had to issue a warrant for Antonio's arrest. Look, I'm sorry, but we had no choice.
No choice. Thank you for minding the place, Caterina.
Carlotta, if you want to go home, you can go. She needs a refill, and I think table number 7 needs to be cleared.
Okay.
Carlotta, are you okay?
I'm fine, just very busy. And I got the dinner crowd coming in soon, so if you're finished with me...
Carlotta, if only I can get you to see how much... Okay. Well, you take care of yourself, all right? I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
I'm sorry, but thought I'd come. After everything he's done to you, and to Blair and the own child, Margaret, you all right? What?
Are you really going to testify on Blair's behalf at that hearing?
I can't let Todd have custody of Star or be allowed anywhere near the baby that Blair's going to have. Please, you understand that, don't you?
Todd? You home?